Have you heard of the story of the crisis of Chinese manufacturing sector, right? Or even the death of Chinese manufacturing sector, right? Adidas or Nike, they are moving their factories out of China, put that in Bangladesh, Cambodia, sometimes back to Germany, right? Therefore, Chinese manufacturing sector is losing its competitiveness, right? So that kind of stories have been, floating around, right? So for a while, right? And the working age population is shrinking, labor cost is rising, and so on, right? But then is that true, right? Is that true? And if you actually look at the number, right? So we calculated the manufacturing value add of China out of the total global manufacturing value add. It is actually stronger than ever, right? So since 1990, at the time it was less than 5%, right? But then now it's approaching about 30%, right? So Chinese manufacturing sector is stronger than ever, right? Even with all those the noises, right? So one important reason is this, right? So going back to the Shenzhen example, right? So China already has built a massive manufacturing ecosystem, right? In case of Shenzhen, within the 2 hours of driving range, you can find millions of young people, right? In the many different sectors, right? And then there are thousands of companies in the same industry clustered together, right? So that means there's very close upstream and downstream collaboration, right? So that means there's a lot of process innovation happening in China, right? Accumulating those operational know-how, right? So how to cut costs, right? Improve time and improve quality, right? So in those low-cost countries, right, it is difficult to replicate this in a short period of time, right? You can move a single factory out of China, put that somewhere, right? But then building this massive ecosystem will take time, right? So that's why for the moment, Chinese manufacturing, the efficiency-driven innovation is strong, right? And at the same time, it's not the value chain, right, is expanding toward design phase, right? It's not just simple manufacturing, right? And then if you actually go to Shenzhen, right, there are several design house, right? And if you have an interesting concept, and then you bring that concept to the design house, and they can turn your concept into prototype, and you can take that prototype and then test in the market. If it works, they can help you mass produce, and then you can sell it through Taobao, right? So the barrier to innovation is getting lower and lower, right? Yeah. Can you guys guess how much would it cost to start your own smartphone brand? Yeah, so you start producing your own smartphone under your brand. $50,000 US.
$500
500. You used to be $1,000 US, right? But then about 2 years ago, it could be 500 by now. Yeah, and it's just you go and find the supplier, and then they will assemble that for you, and they will give you 20 units, right? By building those prototype, and then you can put your brand and then sell it, right? So how about this? People from Shenzhen, right? Can you recognize where this is? Huaqiangbei. Huaqiangbei. What is Huaqiangbei? What kind of place is this?
Yeah, like Zhongguancun in Beijing. It's just a lot of shopping malls,
Yeah.
especially for electricity products, like cell phone or pad or things like that.
Yeah, it's more than Zhongguancun, right? So it's it's probably the largest electronics market in the world, right? And then you can find a lot of components. Yeah, so and probably you'll be convinced that if you go there, you'll be able to assemble UFO, right? Because you think that you'll find everything, right? And there is an interesting accelerator called HAX, H-A-X. Have you heard of it? HAX, H-A-X. Yeah. So they are actually based in Huachangbe. The office is in Huachangbe. They actually have dual office, right? One in Huachangbe, another one is in Silicon Valley, right? And their vision is to bring global entrepreneurs to China and then let them use the ecosystem of Shenzhen and drive hardware-based innovation, right? And I went there and then also talked to a few entrepreneurs, and then they say, because of this, right? So the pace of iteration, the speed of iteration is so fast, yeah. When they are based in Europe, right? When they want to change some component, it takes weeks, right? Ship something back to China and get it back and so on. But here, you just walk out of the door and then find the supplier and then work with them and then bring it back, right? Just a few hours, right? And then using WeChat platform, you are connected to these suppliers, right? And experts in that area, right? So the Chinese, the ecosystem is accelerating the pace of innovation.